Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. So Khalsa Ji, today, jo Visha hai, Visha, translated into English means topic. And today's topic is Maya. Last week, if you were here, the presentation was on Guru Maharaj Ji's Preet, Prabh ki Preet, Sab to Sresht Preet. The foremost love that you can adorn is divine love. And we said in that presentation, if you remember, it was a quote, and we asked several questions to Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Maharaj Ji gave the response. And one was, Anik adambar maya ke birthe, tasyon preet katavo. The many displays of Maya, they're all worthless in the end. From that, you should detach. And edhe te jiri preeti lai hai na todi, the love that you have granted Maya, take it back and break it away. So, for those that were sitting wondering what Maya is, and for those that sit within their head, there's a small definition of what you think Maya is. Hopefully, this will enhance that knowledge, and hopefully, you can customize this knowledge towards your living style. Because it only matters when you take vichar and make it achar. Vichar is what we contemplate, what we try to understand through translations. And it becomes achar, meaning it becomes part of your lifestyle. When you take what's heard here, you step outside of the darbar and you apply it in your life. So, today, a topic of Maya. And what has been carefully designed in the illustrations is symbolic of what has been said in Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Let's start with a simple translation. What does the word Maya translate to? Now Maya, the term, isn't exclusive just to Sikhi. Right? Whether it's Hinduism, Buddhism, they're familiar with this shabd. So when they translate it, a common translation you'll hear is illusion. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to say that one rules over the other. They can all apply. There's a depth here. So illusion, one means money. Commonly people will say that inni maya tunu ditti si, referring to money. And why is that? And we have a common saying that money makes the world go round. What can't you do without money? Money is a very important part of your life. You need money to bring food on your table. Duality, duje pai. When Guru Maharaj Ji says duja, and when we translate ik oankar, ik means the non-dual, who is one. Dualism is Maya. What brings around difference? Duality. And then some people have even gone and said Maya is a matrix, a false created matrix that serves as a game. You know how children play video games? Well, you're sitting in a game right now. And that matrix, within that matrix, you have to find what is the truth. Because that, what is driving actions, can't be driven without a battery source. There's an eternal battery source that we refer to as the divine being Paramatma. You have to find him within this life, within the opportunity you're granted as a human. And one is mother. And we will say this as Mother Nature. Eka Mai Jugat Vyai Tin Chele Parvan Japji Sahib de vich. Mai referring to Maya. So all of these have been thrown around in one. Maya has been translated as a measurement. Measurement or a certain degree of expanse that you take the infinite Lord and you fit him in to a finite realm, which is called Maya. That God exists here, he's infinite. But Maya is not infinite. Maya is temporary. but Maya's expanse, we still don't know the end to. Right? All this universe, all those stars you see, it's all Maya. So, that I wanted to start. But now if we ask Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Maharaji, time to time you'll hear questions that are being asked through Gurbani. And one was asking about Maya. And let's start with that one. Tan Sri Guru Amar Das Sache Paatshah says, Maya kisno akhiye, kya Maya karm kamaye. What should be said to be Maya? We see a lot of things here, but what can you call Maya? Maharaji answers in the next line, Dukh sukh eo jio badai. Translation, and now bear with me, this translation is a little hard to grasp at the first time you read it. But the whole purpose of this whole presentation is to grasp this one definition. And what is this definition? I'm going to read it out to you. The deception. Maya itself is an illusion. How does it work? Well, the beings within Maya, they're deceived. And that deception is called param. The deception, param, that causes beings to accept false reality, asatya, false, asatya, as true reality, satya. You take something that's not real and you make these people believe it's real. Right? Just as a movie. Movies are still pictures playing, flashing over and over again. But it's flashed at such a rate that your eyes cannot perceive that it's just pictures. Eventually you're going to find out, you're going to look at it and you're going to see these individuals moving, but they're just still pictures coming one after another. Right? Maya's doing this right now. It's making you believe what's false is true. Thereby, beings perform deeds in response to this illusion. If you knew this is not true, why would you respond to it? You have to believe it's true before you respond to it. And now you've responded, you've committed an action. And this action serves as a seed for another life. This entangles them into the experiences of life after life after life. Whether painful and comforting, that depends on your reaction. That depends on your reaction. Dukh sukh eo jio badh hai. You've been bound down because of what you're responding to the environment that you've created from a previous life. Then the second part of the question is, Kya Maya karm kamai? What is Maya said to do? What is its function? Well, Maya just doesn't operate alone. Hom mein karm kamai. You have to have something. If God exists inside each of these beings, something has to serve as a curtain to block out that vision, that holy vision, or to be in the divine presence of that light that sits as God inside of you. Well, what is that curtain? What is that veil? Oh, kera parda? Oh, parde da no haiga home mein. Home mein. Home mein karm kamai. The translation is Maya exploits your attachment, which is brought by Trishna. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. Trishna is going to be translated as well in the further slides. To keep you performing deeds in ego. Your ego is that curtain. Once that ego is gone, the veil has been removed, you see the light of God. But all people can do is try to minimize it. The rest sits with the grace of Paramatma. The rest sits in the blessing of Paramatma. Now, Khalsa ji, let's ask a couple of other questions. Your first awareness, they say, comes when you're about 3 years old. Some might say a bit earlier if you remember certain things from your memory of your childhood. But when was Maya introduced to us? When did Maya come into our lives? Well, Guru Maharaji answers Liv shudki lagi trisna, Maya amr vartaya. Well, the connection, there's a connection you had with the Lord. And that keeps a child alive in the mother's womb. When the woman is pregnant with child, that child sits. Yes, the child moves. But what keeps the child in such a difficult environment, upside down, and in the heat, the body temperature of the woman that's carrying that child, in that difficult time, when your own gandagi is coming inside of your own mouth, Khalsa ji, what keeps you? It's God's Simran. And they say, and we believe in Khalsa, that when the child's Simran breaks within the womb, the child perishes within the womb. But what keeps the child is Simran. It's in touch with what's the light of Paramatma that sits within. But once it comes into the hands of the midwife or doctor, as the child is delivered, right then, lagi trishna, the child cries. Because the connection is going to be broken from the mother and the placenta. And then what's going to happen? The child cries. Because now, pyar kaade na pai gaya? Dodh naal. It thirsts for milk. And Maya amar vartaya. Now Maya says, it's my turn. It's my play now. So Maya begins its control over their life. You've grown up with Maya. Maya's always been coloring you. But there was a sachai. There was a truth that would be presented to you. It would be given to you because of blessed karmas of your previous life. And that sachai sits as Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the awaj, the voice of Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So, eh Maya, jit har visre, moh upje, pao duja laya. Then this Maya, by which the Lord is forgotten, moho, emotional attachment, is created. And the love of duality wells up inside of those individuals. Well, how powerful. Next question. What these series of questions are to introduce you to your Guru Sahib. Your Guru Sahib talks to you, but you don't pay heed to it because there's no understanding yet inside of you. There's no vichar. That's why we're going through a series of questions. How powerful is Maya? And this is a common hukamnama that comes from Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Maharaj Ji would answer, Maya mamta mohani jin vin danta jag khaya. A powerful response that also comes through the voice of Tan Sri Guru Amar Das Sache Paatshah. And the translation, Maya's material affection, mamta, Paikan Singh has translated in a series. There's been different translations. One is Padarthan da Saneh. Saneh means love, affection. Padarth means the material possessions you see. So Maya's material affection is enticing. It's attractive. Jin vin danta jag khaya. And she has managed a way to eat the world, the beings of this world, without having actual teeth to display. Swallowing them. Eating them. You see a television show and a movie, and all of a sudden Maya's colored you for the whole next day. It's pulled your attention so much, the images of that movie or television show has now colored you for the next day, and the movie's playing inside of your head now. It's swallowed you through your own thoughts. But do you see actual teeth there? No, it's consuming you. You ever see a movie that is so powerful, you say that movie was so powerful, then all of a sudden, for 3-4 days, you're thinking about that movie and what has happened inside of that movie. You're daydreaming, but your thoughts have been consumed consumed, eaten by Maya. That's one example. But Maya Amar Vartaya in many ways, Anak Adambar. It has many displays and many ways to attract every one of your senses. The senses you need for survival in this life, Maya says, well, I'm going to use them to my own benefit. And that's why she's been sent. She's a dasi. She's a slave of Paramatma. It's her function. It's her job to do this. Because we sit in a test. And now you sit inside of a school being taught about ways to overcome Maya. Overcome, surpass Maya. Now, I want to tell you about those that have been lost in Maya. What you, if you haven't, through attachment, we all have this attachment. Now, for those, and I've taken this out as a statement made by somebody on a forum. This was in response to a person telling the people on the forum of how their life has been driven out of control because of lust. But I'm going to make a generic here for you. It's going to be Maya. Maya can bring about krodh, can bring about lust. These are all buttons on your body. These are all buttons that Maya can press. One might be more vulnerable to greed. So Maya will press greed because it's a larger button on top of you. Well, this person, I had to read it out. And it's a heart-filled statement. And this is a person, as I quote, "My addiction is simply the great black hole in the center of my personality. It destabilizes me, makes me never content. In the last year, I've made some desperate attempts to change my life, but have ignored the real flaw. I've been wildly destructive, thinking that I could catalyze some change through drama and excitement. Right now, this very moment, as you blessed beings are sitting within the sanctuary of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, nightclubs are filled up. And there are people drinking. They're in this destructive behavior, but they haven't been hit like this individual, like you say, with reality. This person all of a sudden has realized that I'm out of control. My attachment has brewed addiction. When I say addiction, a person might think drugs, might think drinking, might start thinking video games. It could be anything. People have shopping addictions. People have addictions to their own telephones, their phones, mobiles. People have addictions in various means. It's because they're looking for gratification, satisfaction. That sits as a hole, and this person addressed it. A great black hole. Now, let's summarize. I've thrown out terms, but it all ties together. I ask everybody to give me your attention at this moment. I hear some people talking in the back there. But I really wish that you can give as much attention, because this is our life here. This is your life that we're talking about. This is my life. While Das was preparing this lecture, I was watching myself and seeing where I was stuck. Now I ask you to go through this and see where you're stuck. Because Maya is that illusion. And what does it create? Param, a deception that you think it's real. What are you touching? You're feeling things and you're saying, this is real, I can touch it. But what are you touching it with? You're touching it with your body. Your body is part of Maya as well. And then there's home that sits inside of you. An ego that tells you that you're you. You're not part of Paramatma. Everybody's not interconnected. That you're you. There's an I in you. There's a me in you. And Trishna, a desire for satisfaction. Just like I said, Lagi Trishna. Moh is when you have that Trishna and you're looking towards the world for satisfaction, but you realize that cake that you ate didn't last that long on your tongue. That woman that you were attracted to, that you married eventually after, that love that you had has started to die away, and now you're thinking that are you still compatible with that being? Well, it's more attachment. And that attachment is very critical to realize, more attachment, because we all have it with the world. And when it goes greater for one particular thing, it becomes an addiction. You have no boundaries. You haven't set any boundaries of how to work in Maya. Right? Some people would think, escape. The city has a lot of Maya. Let's get out of the city. But Maharaj says, Bana no nahi bhajna. You're not going to run out to the forest either. And there were some that tried. There's an ancient Indian sage. His name is Vishwamitra. And this person sat out where there's no other beings that could come to him. And he sat in meditation for a long while. And he saw that his power, spiritual status, or you can say spiritual avastha, rose. But what happened one day? Maya came as a form, presented as a temptress, as a woman dancing. He has his eyes closed. He can hear her ankle bracelets. He would open his eyes slightly to see such an enticing form that he'd grab hold of that woman and have relations with her. And his bhakti fell. And he would tell another sage of how Maya came to him. Khalsa ji, you can't run from Maya. And Maharaj says, live this life. And within this life, I'll teach you how to move above Maya. So, through this attachment, you perform karmas, deeds performed by thought, speech, and action that defines a karma. And tuade beej ban jande hai. Well, param is defeated by gyan. Home is defeated by nimrata. Trishna is defeated by contentment, santokh. Moh is defeated by vivek, you understanding what is true and what is false. And karms are defeated by nishkam karms, selfless karms. There is a way. You can change this algorithm around for yourself using Gurmat. Khalsa ji, ete ras sarir ka, ete ras sarir ke, ka kat naam nivas. With all these temptations, with all these pleasures of Maya to indulge in, where have you left room? Where have you left room for God's Naam to reside in your heart? Some people say that man nahi tekda nitnem kardeyan nu. That's because you have to reflect. What do you do for the rest of the day? The rest of the day matters, doesn't it? It ties in. When that time, at Amrit Vela, when you'll do your Nitnem, it ties into that. Like I said, if it's a television show and it's colored your next morning, there'll be a big difference. If that night before you're reading and listening to Sakhiyan of your Guru Sahiban. Before this was a normal way. Ask your grandparents what their grandparents did for them before television was in their home. At night, they would listen to Sakhiyan told by their grandparents before television plagued them. And now within homes that are very poor, you'll still find a television set and a telephone, a mobile telephone. With all these things to indulge in. We haven't left room for Paramatma. These have to be minimized. You still have to work. It's not like you have to put a blindfold and go through this life. No. Paramat dekho pula visre tera chitna ave na. You have to understand that if your mind is being swayed, you looked at something, it doesn't mean you have to keep looking at it. You can minimize it. And there is something that you can reflect on, which is God's name inside of you while you're walking through, and you find you're vulnerable. and susceptible to these pleasures that Maya presents in front of you. I want to share with you a small sakhi before I go into this. And this is of Tan Sri Guru Amar Das. Tan Sri Guru Amar Das ji, so far a lot of the panktiyan, those precious revelations that we hear as Gurbani have been of Guru Amar Das ji. And here's a sakhi of Guru Amar Das ji. Maharaj ji had 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. Out of the Sahibzade, the 2 sons, one is Mohri ji, Baba Mohri ji. His name comes in Gurbani. Mohri Put Sanmukh Hoya. It comes in Ramkali Sad. This Baba Mohri ji needed teachings. He came on this path, and now his name has been immortalized in Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib ji. Khalsa ji, Baba Mohri ji one day was talking to his friends and saying that since the time of my awareness, the time that I gathered awareness of my being, I can't remember any money within my home. I don't remember any collection of money. We've lived humbly and we lived poorly. But there was this thought, because everybody has this, what would it be if I were rich? Maharaji teaches you to be content. And he doesn't say that quit your jobs and start doing bhakti. No, you do your jobs. And you pick positions that you can serve humanity. But that money that comes, main nahi kita labbo. You don't be greedy. Ek naam tera main phabbo. The only thing you want is God's name. God's name is the highest priority. But you can, whatever money your position brings in, where God has granted you talents, go forth and serve the community in that manner. But here Baba Mohri ji now sits in his heart, what would it be that now money is coming into the Guru Kar? Now what would it be if I got to handle that money? I've never had an opportunity to deal with such money. And at that time, that sankalp, that thought came, and it came to Guru Amar Das Sache Pasha. And Tan Sri Guru Amar Sache Pasha. Guru Amar Das Sache Pasha calls Baba Mohri. He says, Mohri Put Thyao, come here. And he says that today's golak, open it up and count it out. Baba Mohri ji, there's excitement, there's a child to deal with this money. And Khalsa ji, he pulled out the money. He pulled out the money and he started counting. Then after a short while, as Guru Amar Das ji is observing him, he notices something and he looks on his hand. And what is it? He starts to see his hands are becoming black. They're becoming smeared with filth and germs. And then he finishes counting and he looks at Guru Amar Das ji. You've shown me something today, Pitaji. You've shown me my Gurudev. Please open it up and explain it to me. And what was that? He said, Mohri Pota, today you saw how Maya makes your hands black and how filthy it is to deal with it. But the moment that you attach your mind to that money, you attach yourself to that money, then that same filth goes on your mind. Janam janam ki is man ko mal lagi, kala hoa syaho. Khalsa ji, it smears you inside and it's not easily removed. So please take heed of what I tell you and what Guru Amar Das ji has told you through Gurbani. Because those that have become attached, they're like dead bodies when they don't have God's love inside of them. And what is that line? Guru Arjan Dev Ji tells us, Mirtak keiye nanaka, je preet nahi bhagwant. Take note of this illustration. This artist has done a wonderful job. Has shown that there's a body dangling. A dead body. Because it doesn't have the love of God inside of it. And how does it dangle? It has strings. And there's a hand controlling it. Well, Guru Maharaj Ji says, Panch taat kar putla kiya. The 5 elements have made up your body, and he's made a puppet. A puppet. And what has happened with this puppet? Mati ko putra kaise nachat hai. And look now. Look how this puppet dances for the world. It uses all of its senses. It tries to please other individuals. It's running around after Maya. It's running around after cars. It's concentrated in its cell device, looking on Facebook. Khalsa Ji, watch these individuals in this world and look how they dance for Maya. The strings of Maya represent the attachment to Maya. But look carefully also again in this illustration. There's not just that being, there's a kite. There's a kite also in this picture. And Maharaji Bhagat Namdev Ji with revelation of Gurbani has said this. Panch jana syon baat bataua cheet so dori rakhi ale. He says, I tell you a jugti, I tell you a technique that if you want to exist in Maya, people ask Bhagat Namdev Ji, and he says, even while having a conversation with many people, one can still keep his attention to the string, like the string on a kite. Khalsa Ji, a kite string, a person can fly a kite and still have attention so that kite doesn't fall down and talk to individuals. Try yourself. In this summer, you're going to fly a kite. And your brothers and sisters, your friends around, I'm sure you can talk to them, but watch as your attention stays within that kite. Haath pao kar kaam sab cheet naranjan naal. Through the practice of Amrit Vela, you doing Naam Simran, it saturates you. And it goes into your subconscious. And it will remind you over and over again. When it starts dying out, you have the time of Rara Sahib. Oh, if it starts dying out in the evening, you have Kirtan Sola, Khalsa Ji. And that Maharaji is given you as a minimum. You feel free to add on as much as you want. Saturate yourself. Otherwise, Maya will. You're here. You're here in this darbar to build a relationship with Guru Sahiban. You're here within the Guru Darbar to break your relationship with Maya. That's why you're here. And the Sangat ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਹਾਇਤਾ ਕਰੂਗੀ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜਪੋਗੇ, it'll get multiplied. It'll get multiplied with all the people that recited it with you, and you take that fal home today. So Khalsa Ji, this is how attachment sits. But one time, Guru Arjan Dev Ji responded to Bhagat Freed Ji through Frida, this Bhagat Freed Ji's sloks. And this comes in Gurbani, Khalsa Ji. And Maharaji responds to Bhagat Freed Ji. Remember, he is one that united. He's not to be thought as a person that was a being that's separate from Maharaji. He sits within Guru Granth Sahib Ji, so he is one with Paramatma. And Maharaji would respond to Bhagat Freed Ji, Mahalla Panjava, Frida Duni Vajai Vajdi, Tu Pi Vajhe Naal, Soi Jio Na Vajda, Jis Allahon Karda Sar. Maya's a drum, and it's beating it, and everybody's dancing according to that drum beat. And when a person becomes in line with Guru Maharaji's Gyan, they realize that everybody's doing this. I look at the people at work, I look at the people in school, I look at the people in my home, my family. Everybody's tied to Maya. Maya's controlling all of them. Duni vajai vajdi, just like a harmonium. Maya's playing everybody. Everybody is their own instrument, and everybody's being played. And Khalsa Ji, tu pi vajhe naal, don't think you're separate. You're in this category as well. You're being played as well by Maya. But Maharaji says, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you just with this line. Soi jio na vajda jis Allah karda sar. But that being, jio means being, that being doesn't play and get played by Maya. That being is not played by Maya. That being that takes peace and comfort and support in Guru Maharaji, in Allah, in Ram. All different names for Vaheguru. Sarne kabari japna. Satnam Sri Guru Sahib Ji. बीबियां तो नहीं वे आवाज आए फिर जपो सतनाम श्री वाहे गुरु साहिब जी. देखो किन्ना फल प्राप्त हुंदा जिन्ना ने जपिया मन करके खास जी जपी जाओ गुप्त जपी जाओ हुण तुसी. एंड देखो जेरे भी तुहाडे नाल जपदे आ तुहानू उन्हां दा भी फल मिली जांदा. How many sangat individuals you see? As one assembly, you're going to receive the fall of everybody sitting. So it's 500. If it's 500, then you've received the fall of 500. That's the benefit of doing sangat within Kali Yuga. So Guru Maharaji has said this. Now, Khasaji, I want you to look at this painting. Maaf karna, I don't want to make this an art show that I'm showing you paintings, but these paintings have been made for a reason, because people experience something. This painting was made during the Industrial Revolution. Why would you care about the Industrial Revolution? It's not social studies. But the funny thing is, those cellular devices, those television sets, the internet that you're using, the technology that keeps changing year by year, that tells you I have to get the latest version, started with the Industrial Revolution. And when an individual named Edvard Munch made this painting called The Scream of Nature, he made it and he blurred everything. You can't tell if the sun is setting or the sun is rising. You see a bridge and there's individuals passing you by, but you can't tell clearly who those individuals are. And do you really know them? And there's a person screaming. And that screaming is blurred as well too. Because who is going to hear your scream in Maya? Khalsa ji, why is it blurred? Because there's change happening. Change. And Maya is called Anarbachani. Maya creates change. Just the same way you see advertisements. How long have you seen a commercial stay? The same commercial. Right? If it's a Fruity Canna commercial, you'll eventually see it change as well too. Because it wears out. You're not interested in something that keeps and continues over and over again. You want new. And Maya says, I'll give you new. Just give me your attention. Right? Because advertisements die out when you turn your attention away. But if it keeps changing, if Nike wants to change their advertisement over and over again, if they know during the Super Bowl, that period where commercials are played makes the greatest impact on individuals, people will pay millions. But they won't show you the same commercial. They'll show you a newly designed commercial that'll have the greatest effect on you. It's Maya's rang. It's Maya's colors that are you're being saturated over and over again as you're placing your attention to it. Place your dhyan. Tun mein dhyan. Dhyan mein janya. Place your dhyan in that tun that's saying Wah Guru, over and over again. Call it out inside of you. Place your dhyan within that tuni, because that tuni, in the end, will create a realization that who you are. I'm going to end by saying this and then sharing one sakhi with you. Technology is destructive. But look, we work with it. But it is only destructive. So technology is destructive only in the hands of people that are not mindful of what destruction it causes to your concentration. Think about that. If you've been trained on how to use a computer, I doubt that somebody told you that flipping through different websites is going to cause problems on your concentration. Nobody even trains you that way. But Guru Maharaj trains you that way. He says, think first. Before you quickly go and buy that device, will you have control? Will you have control? If you know that's your weakness, how are you going to limit it? Well, build your love for God first. And when you saturate yourself with God's love, then what happens is your priority is Naam. And these things are just tools. Right? You use them when you need to, but otherwise they're put away. But if you're sitting in Sangat and you're not looking up Gurbani, but you're looking on Facebook and Twitter, or you're hiding these things from your parents that don't have a full understanding of this, then Khalsa ji, there's something controlling you, not you controlling it. You're being controlled by Maya. Guru Maharaj ji grants us this gyan. I want to tell you a small sakhi of Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh ji. Those kilometers that are over 577 kilometers, that approximately 577 kilometers, where Guru Gobind Singh ji walked from Anandpur Sahib to Sabo ki Talwandi. Khalsa ji, heart-wrenching. People do pilgrimages for going from Medina to Mecca to remember Muhammad's path. But I tell you, you take this path. There's a lot of Gurdwara and a lot of Ityas from Anandpur Sahib to Sabo ki Talwandi Damdama Sahib. From that path, you'll hear that Guru Maharaj earned the title of Sarbansadani. Sarbansadani. You couldn't call Maharaj Sarbansadani in Anandpur Sahib. You can only call Guru Maharaj Sarbansadani in Damdama Sahib when he reached it. Because after that, the Shote Sahibzade, Vadde Sahibzade, Maharaj's mother, countless Shaheed Gursikhs have all laid their lives. But along this path, Guru Gobind Singh Ji did not shed one tear. Did not shed one tear. Because he knew those blessed beings were accepted into the lap of the formless Lord. And when I tell you the final jang that happened in Muktsar Sahib, right, which we remembered last month, the Chali Shaheed, Khalsa ji, well, within that, right after, Maharaj is coming to the boundaries of Sabo ki Talwandi, where there's a Chaudhry named Dalla, Chaudhry meaning a powerful man that controls a lot of land. And this Dalla has a huge army as well. There's a group of people that call themselves Jats. This is a caste which we don't abide by, but nevertheless, this group from one town, all the townspeople, the men had collected before Guru Gobind Singh Ji and asked that we'll fight for you, just we need wages, we need money. Maharaj Ji said, then that's fine. I'll give you work. But when that money comes, I'll give it to you. Well, what happened? They started having a meeting. This group of Jats, they started having a meeting, and they said that, well, we're nearing Sabo ki Talwandi. It's going to be a problem. There's Dalla Chaudhry sitting there. And Dalla Chaudhry has a lot of men, and what we say to Guru Gobind Singh Ji will not carry force. It won't carry force. So they collectively made a decision that as Guru Gobind Singh Ji is riding on his horse, they would go and approach Guru Sache Paatshah, Dasme Satguru. Maharaj is riding upon a horse. Maharaj Ji has seen so many Shahidiyan. He's seen his 4 Ladle, Gursikh children pass. He's still on this path to Damdama Sahib, Khalsa Ji. He's seen 3 of the Panj Pyare also go. But now Guru Gobind Singh Ji is being stopped by this group and saying that we want our payment now. They stopped Guru Gobind Singh Ji's horse and said that we want our payment now, right now. We're not going to let you go any further. Guru Gobind Singh Ji addressed them and he said that, I've given you my word. You will all be paid. And I'll give you your fair wage. But now, we haven't even stopped. We haven't even come to a destination. Why are you approaching me now? They say that, well, we don't want questions. We want to be paid. And we're not going to let you move forward until we receive that money. This is a huge group that's making part of Guru Gobind Singh Ji's army. Remember, when Guru Maharaj Ji gets to Damdama Sahib, that's where the biggest Amrit Sanchar happened and the greatest amount of Gursikhs assembled. Right? It was the biggest Amrit Sanchar in history that happened in Damdama Sahib. Well, at that time, Maharaj Ji saw that they're not listening to Guru Sache Pasha. Qadar nahi karde. Maharaj Ji took out an arrow, took it up and faced it up towards the asman and shot out that arrow. See, no one would see that arrow come down in a clear blue sky. They're going through a jungly area, but they wouldn't see it come down. But then what did they see? They saw a cloud formation happen. A cloud, a group of clouds came, and then all of a sudden, hail started dropping. Hail came down and it dispersed those Jat soldiers that had come to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. They dispersed them. Maharaj Ji got him to move away from them. They were crowding Guru Gobind Singh Ji, demanding money at that time. Maharaj Ji needed him to move back. Maharaj Ji brought hail down. Hail down that all of them ran to their own respective tree. And then Khalsa Ji, the hail's coming down. Everybody's found their own little sanctuaries. And Sache Pasha, after seeing Sahibzade go, and the Gursikhs that have shed blood at Chamkaur Sahib and Muksar Sahib, our father Guru Gobind Singh Ji sits upon a horse, and there's hail coming out, and just like this tir, Maharaj Ji pulls out one more tir, and he uses it not to cover himself from the hail, he uses it to cover his horse. Hail ceases, stops. And then there's a Gursikh that nobody had seen before come with a huge chest and brought it before Guru Maharaj Ji. And the Gursikh said that hukum hoya si, but nobody had heard Guru Gobind Singh Ji give this hukum. Brought this chest, opened this chest up. It's filled half with gold coins, half with silver coins. And Maharaj Ji calls to Gursikhs and he says, assemble the Jat soldiers. That they came. And when they came, Khalsa Ji, they all stood there. They received their fair wages. Maharaj Ji had asked them, would you rather, instead of this wealth, I make you another offer? Maharaj Ji gave another offer. He said that I'll grant you Sikhi. I'll grant you Sikhi instead of these wages. Are you willing to forfeit these wages for Sikhi? And these Jat soldiers wouldn't hesitate. And you know what they said? They took money. Khalsa Ji, people come and they ask for money for Guru Maharaj Ji instead of asking for Sikhi. And Guru Maharaj Ji is offering you Sikhi every time you come to Maharaj Ji's darbar. Maharaj Ji said to those group of soldiers, "Main Sikhi baksh dinna instead of this wealth." And each of them, one after one, they said, "No, we don't want your Sikhi. Give us our money." But there was one that saved his brothers. They were from the same pen. His name is Dan Singh, Bhai Dan Singh. He came and he stood before Guru Maharaj Ji. And he said that, "Bhai Dan Singha, would you want Sikhi or do you want your wage?" And all of the ones that received their wages, they're leaving now. And he says, "Done haath jod ke on bended knee before Guru Maharaj Ji. Kripa karo Sikhi mujh deejay. Kripa karo Sikhi mujh deejay. Apno jaan, make me your own. Apno jaan, baksh kar leejay. Bless me, make me your own. Give me Sikhi. That's all I want in this life, Sikhi." Dan Singha, Then from this day forth, I will give you Sikhi. He would take Amrit, and that's when he became Dan Singh. I'll leave you with this, a quote from Siddh Ghosh that I've taken as English. Maharji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, as a lotus flower floats upon water, as a duck swims within a pond, and it has this waxy substance on its feather that it doesn't absorb water. When your mind remains connected to Shabd, one crosses over the ocean of this transitory world or this Maya. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, here Sangat, I reveal to you God's name. God's name is your boat. Nanak Naam Jahaj. Malar Mala Panjwa, He Gobind, He Gopal, He Dayal, Lal Rao, Prannath, Anath Sakhe, Deen Dard Nivar, He Samrath, Agam Puran, Moe Maya Tar, Andhkup Ma Pyan, Nanak Pari Utar, Salok, Ai Prabh Saranagati, Kirpa Nid Dayal, Ek Akrar Man Bast, Nanak, Nanak Otanyal, Bhai Guru Naam Jahaj hai, Chare Sotre Par, Jo Sarda Kar Sem De, Guru Par Utarnar, Jo Sarda Kar Sem De, Guru Par Utarnar. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.